1 2 testing comme microphone. Microphone. One two testing comme microphone. Microphone. Minus 20. Minus 26. Yes, sir. Let me know if you can actually hear me. Powerful, man. Powerful. Actually, powerful. Good. What else is there? Cool beans. You see my face and I see your face. This is so cool, man. Now, I'm waiting for a couple of people. If it shows up. What a time to be alive. It's insane. The music is too loud, let me know. Put it backward, 26. Man, incredible time. I want to go through some of these weird situations that made to me. Hey, John Manteson, mon ami, comment ça va, my friend? You're cool, man. Can't wait to meet you up soon. Today I just pulled off a 42 kilometers, but I went back and did a 43 because I forgot something, and I forgot my kilometer. What a time. But yeah, so I'll try to come and explain whatever happened during this time of all of this leading to a marathon. Oh man, I'm 4,500 calories off. What? I get 60,000 steps. Oh, good. How many calories? Okay, so my butt. Man. Jean-Louis, comment ça va, mon ami? What a time to be alive today. But, I want to share my little adventure of this 42 nonsense. But today was pretty cool. Put that in here. Yeah. Where's the root? Nope, not. Sorry for so many things there. What if I put it right here? Yes, sir. What a time. How's everybody today? Am I too dark? Maybe I could probably bring up the brightness a bit. Because I'm cool like that. Am I too bright? Or maybe my computer cell phone here is not too bright. Nice. See how that break goes. Sorry for the random stuff there. That's pretty bright. Whoops. Put it 2500. Cool. Man, so today I went outside the Fredericton. That was the race today. I didn't expect to pull off this type of thing. But my body felt right this morning. Even though I had a problem on my foot on the right, which is not my Achilles on my left, my Achilles is fine. So now, because of this right thing, I was like, okay, maybe I should pull it or not. But because I run in such a way, it doesn't affect the side when I misstep my step in Central Park. So not only that, but what gave me the ability to do this is because it was flat all along, besides the bridge that's going up. So all of this calculation of risk in my head, intuitively, I had to trust that. Nothing else. And I could listen to myself in the sense, which is kind of like too deep for words because I can't explain what the calculation of my brain and my thought and my heart says to me. But the more I listen to that deepness of who I am, the more I am precise on how I should feel, and also almost like calculating the risk of the next day of this challenge, because when you run this much, your body is slammed. So that's an interesting way to me that I was able to, I most of the time I calculate this emotionally. I don't know if it's emotionally or too deep for words, but anyways, pretty cool stuff. And over the months, I've been listening to my body, how it reacts. So it's more of a mind, body, and spirit, more mind, body, and spirit sense of training, because I've never done that myself. And I'm not, and whatever, I can't deny what I receive. I can't deny what I receive, so I have to understand what I receive. So that ends up to me to this morning to decide it's time to do a 42. But along the way, I met Clay. Man, what a guy. And I shared videos about him running with me. What is the chance? Again, this week is insane. So what is the chance I end up with a running buddy right before I talked to him? I just said, hey, that's my running buddy. Let's do this, man. And it's like, bam, connection, too deep for words happen. And I talked with him, and he knows all the people and the motivational things that I've been listening for years. One is part of David Coggins, and he inspired himself with this video because David Coggins is really he pushes the limits of the human being to a level where when he speaks, it's true. It's not trying to fake out his past or his future because it's so raw. And being raw that way is what I attract myself, because it is a authentic level, too deep for words, but there's a lot of searching in that person's life. He is sharing, David Coggins is sharing his vibe of who he is as a person, despite how he expresses his word. There's a lot of foul language and stuff like that, but he can't fake it because that's the thing that he lived before. So David Coggins is kind of like the high-end, I don't know, like a very high-end mindful person to go against the things that he's afraid, because living in fear creates regrets. So what a grateful time to be alive today to reach out on YouTube channels, these types of motivators. Can't deny that. And this is one of the reasons why receiving this vibe, this authenticity of this person for months, that's what made me who I am today. One part of that is making me that way. So I had to do something. I was low energy. I wanted to become a new man. But trying to figure out to better myself today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And I always tell myself, why should I pretend the things I receive? Because to me, that's not mastering who I am as a person, how I love myself. So pushing the boundaries of who I am today is giving not only a grateful moment today before I die, but also representing the testimony of what I stand for, which is God. God leads the way in all things. I can't deny what happened between this Sunday weren't for women, domino effect by so many people saying Fredericton marathon. My intuition was listening to the things that is all through all things instead of the conversation I'm talking about. But the things I pray and the things I looked up to, when life shows you an opportunity and its message is repeating itself, that's what I learned from myself through those prayers, that the more sign I get, the more things I will listen to, because there's a message there. I need more multiple signs that drives me where I'm at today, because I've prayed for these things. And it's like such an amazing journey from this week. I cannot make this up. I cannot plan those things. Who does planning of that? I can only think that is God leads the way. I'm so grateful, because that's what comes from here. The unpredictable moments in life creates the most deepest grateful days to share today, because that stands in the moment of life today. It's truly a gift to me. It is too deep for words, because when we pray in weaknesses, we don't know how to pray. But the Spirit intercedes too deep for words to come to your life, to change what we believe about ourselves. Wow. So grateful to live this moment today. To listen to that voice that's telling me all through all things, that's who I am. Nobody can take that from me, because God has given me this today. That's the gratitude that I have today. To know that I've did all this training without even knowing what will be happening today, because I trusted the process, because God leads the way. I trusted the process even though I do not know, but I know that God shows the way along the way. How far do I want to go? I want to go far. That's how far I will get. The marathon comes in. I'm doing what? I was not sure on Sunday, today morning. And then these people encouraged me again to push through. And this clay guy became my running buddy, to the level that was too deep for words. The events that I went yesterday, I also met Michelle. I met Karen that gave me these numbers to transfer my ID for the 21k. But Friday I had an intuition feeling to buy the 42. That messed up the system. It was so funny, because they started laughing in that moment that I shared that I cannot pretend that this is what's happening. The choice was mine on Friday at last minute. There was about 4 hours left on this to purchase the ticket for the full run. I was debating, but I listened to my intuition. I would have not met Clay, my running buddy, that stands for the same things at 21 years old. I think he's 22 or 21. But at such a young age, he has the rawness today already. That man's going to be a legend, because when I was actually texting on my cell phone while running, he asked me a question or something like that, and basically, oh, you have a running buddy, cool, and he sounds like a legend. The ChatGPT said to him, that he is a legend. This was also his first marathon. He has not done any of this stuff, but he trained for 16 weeks. I had a conversation to the rawness of this person too deep for words. And it's like he did not know until we speak. And then we refine what was here. What a gratitude time. Because all the way through, he was appreciating the moment of life that I was able, and we are able to speak for so long with this mentality of the mindset. It all is linked to David Coggins in a certain way, but he is so grateful to have met me. I'm 41 years old. I trusted the process. The funny thing is, I wasn't sure. Wednesday, I almost quit, which would mean I would have quit to motivate this kid. In my intuition, I said I must continue. Wednesday was where the line came and everything worked out. How easy it was. It was unbelievable, because all the scenarios that added to this week, to this marathon, one little things would have failed. My knees could have failed. My Achilles could have destroyed itself. But I was able to find a way to heal myself faster, because ChatGPT kind of helped me. And the people outside my control, and Diane Trites has given me an input on Thursday to roll something under my foot, because that may fix my problem. And it did. I can't pretend that, but I'm so grateful. I've received, and I accepted myself to receive those things. I can't deny them, because I would have failed. But denying myself is not loving myself, but loving myself is not to deny the things I receive thought-wise. Bad, the good, or the ugly. Finding the way is finding yourself. That's your thoughts leading to here. That's my message. Clay, I'm not sure if you're here or you're the right person, but I am talking about the legend that we have created today. That's the meaning of life today. Sharing this video today is all because of you. Because you stand, I'm going to cry. You stand in something you did not think you would be able to do. Same thing as me. But we had the same rawness about life. You are a young kid, but you are such a wise man. Know this before anything. You will lead yourself into such place that you will create grateful moments in your life that you will live forever with that. Sharing those moments is also sharing the gratitude that you have today and the hope that things can happen. This could have failed all week. This could have failed, all these scenarios. So I'll try to kind of explain that. But I ran the Run for Women at 10K, 50 minutes. Score doesn't matter, but I was reaching people while I was running. Claire Johnson happens to be somebody that talks about Fredericton Marathon. And I explained I did a 35K in Centennial Park in the intense hills. She mentioned, Fredericton is all flat. But I still have a doubt of what does that mean? Because some people have different perspective of what is flat, especially for runners. I don't know. That's the thought I received, but I cannot deny what I thought. So I was skeptic about that because I have my Achilles a bit off during the week. But she mentioned Fredericton, you could do it. Claire Johnson gave me an input to say, I don't have a drive. So I went to this group and she sent me, and I asked that question. I went to that, I sent a message, she shared me the group, and I asked, can I have a drive? Somebody going to Fredericton, because I felt intuitively to do that. I had to trust that, because that's what I receive intuitively, too deep for words. I have to trust what he wants me to do. And then somebody replies, they have a ticket. Apparently after that, I asked a question, and then Todd told me everything was sold out in the 21 kilometers. So I was like, oh shoot, it's all sold out. So I have to get this free thing, because I was not sure if I wanted to do the 21K or the 42, because I had this process of thinking about my Achilles and my foot. Oh man, so I'm stuck in a sense, but not anymore. That person that sent me to that group has saved me to have a ticket to make sure I can get there, to have planned. So I get this. I was guaranteed 21K. I can probably do that. I've done a 21K right here in Riverview on that Wednesday, last Wednesday, and I tested that, and I was like, okay, I can probably do that. So now it's like I have somebody, Diane Trites, offered me a drive. I asked her if I could go on to the hotel with her, but he couldn't, because all the hotels, what I understood, was all full. So I'm like, oh, I may not be able to do that. This is way too tight. It's like, if sold out, marathon is all sold out, like what? I have a ticket. That's my risk factor. I have a ticket. I can do it. And it was not even possible to have this ticket to go transfer me, because apparently the website says April 30th to transfer your bib to the other person, but apparently you can't. I called the number, and that fixed it on Thursday night. I was Superstore and I called that number. That person answered. They were so busy, and she mentioned that. So insane. But Karen, again, the language of this person, when I saw that person in the event, too deep for words, but I know I can trust. How is this possible? The language of the heart is too deep for words, but I know I can trust. She answered that phone. Amazing. And then this person that gave me this ticket sent a message on the email to receive the confirmation I can trade as well, because Karen is the one that actually answered that. I met Karen. So I'm like, wow, okay, so it's guaranteed I can go. Very good. I'm like, I can do a 20K, that's no problem. Now I went to like thinking about this. It's like, okay, during Thursday I was like, wow, my Achilles is pretty good now. So I'm like, shoot, I only have about several hours to buy this 42K bib. So low, I'm like, what a domino effect. I had the drive, I had a ticket guaranteed, and now I'm thinking of like how to get an hotel, because I've been saying sold out. So I called this hotel thing. Man, it's so weird, but it's interesting that when I call, apparently it was all sold out, but he had 40 rooms open. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, cool. I'm pretty good. I asked him, can I book a room? And I go, well, the process to book a room, no credit card. They don't take Visa debit, because they had issues back then. Another block. This could have failed. But then I thought of one thing, and it was Nicole Parks and Cecil. And they set me right on off. They did the ordering, and they sponsored me in a certain way. I'm running this for Alexandre-Parks. What's going on? What a grateful time. Everything is set. Now the last minute I go on website and I'm like, wow, everything is set up. They registered, they had a confirmation for this room. And then in like another step, I'm debating to buy the 42. There's only 4 hours left. I didn't pay anything. The person gave me his first ticket, a free ticket, the 21K. So I'm not paying that much to go over there, which I'm a budget person. But the thing is, it all worked out. So I'm like, my intuition was saying I gotta get a 42, just in case. So I bought the 42 bib. So I have 42K. So I have 2 bibs on my shirt. I screwed quite a bit of the system because there's like ways you go through these cutoff time, and it basically scans your ticket of 42 or the 21k half a marathon. I really kind of screwed the whole thing, but what a time to be rare and true, and can't pretend mistakes, because mistakes, in my opinion, are a gift of God to give grateful moments today, because the unpredictable moments creates grateful moments too deep for words. They don't understand why, but it is there. And guess what? God leads the way. Can't fake this. I received this whole thing all fried. It's powerful, man. But it's the powerful thing that guided me through this till that day I arrived to the hotel. I had to drive, I took videos and stuff to keep things, but I took, so Diane Tratz, we were at Fredericton, we go to the events, I meet these people. I meet Karen, the one that actually gives me the transfer. And I'm like saying, so I'm asking like the shirt size and all that stuff. Well, because I bought the 42 too late, I have no shirt. Well, I do have a shirt, but not the specific size. But the other ticket, which is from the person that gave me his free ticket, the size was medium. No way. That's cool. I like the shirt. So it's like, no way. So it saved me in that sense. Weirdest thing ever. She goes, tell me, you can actually apply for the full marathon if you want. Shh, okay, sure. I will just take my ticket for the full marathon, but I have to do another place. So I went to the other place. I go register my full 42. That's a different, that's a second bid. Nuts. And then she tells me to go to the desk booth where they give shirts. No way, I can have a shirt, but probably not the size you want. I go there and I ask, do you guys have any like extra small or small shirts? And she says no. The first person says no. But then out of nowhere, wait a second. A person just dropped a small size of a t-shirt. I had to buy this 42k to get that small shirt. So I have two shirts. I have this one, which is, what a time, man. So I can't predict, I can't pretend what I received. I just have to listen to what my intuition is saying to me, and listening to who I am as a person, because that's where I belong. My heart, Matthew 6:21. Your heart will be where your treasure is. Too deep for words here, but we think too much from the past and the future. But when we think from here, we live in the moment of life. I listen to that way more today than before. So that's why I received a small size of a shirt. It's such an interesting thing. I don't understand. But I trusted the process because that's where I belong, in the moment of life, and accepting who I am and what I received. That's how I love myself. Amazing. But the chances that all this scenario happens is insane. And then I meet Michelle. I meet Michelle in the event thing. Take selfies, whatever. I'll put it online. Probably did. Michelle, where I had to talk, 2D forwards language. I recognized that I can trust her with my life. Wow, what a powerful thing. And I talked and I talked and I talked. We had good conversation about life. I talk about my past and the future. Lost 65 pounds. And I'm now doing marathons. She felt that. I was real. And I needed to have some question asked. But the question that I did not ask because I didn't understand as she mentioned how fast I should be, because she calculated the speed for a 42k, because halfway you need to finish it before 2:45, and she calculated the slowest speed to achieve that 2:45 was 7.8 kilometers. That's a thing that I needed to know, but that's what I received. Wow, we shared a moment there that was real. She really helped me in that sense, because I knew I could do it at a very slow speed of 8 kilometers to 9 to 10. But I had to be very slow, because that's what was my plan. She answered that question. If she was not there, I would have not had this answer. So anyways, now I go to the map and I talk to these people. She mentioned also that Fredericton is flat. The course is flat. You can run it so fast without destroying your legs, because it's so flat. That's another risk factor that I put in to think about what this is, because Claire Johnson says the same thing. It was flat. Again, another word through all things receiving to me. And I'm like, it's all flat. That has to be flat. And we looked at elevation and all that stuff, and it's really flat. It is such a beautiful place to run in. It's the same thing that we have in Riverview. It's all flat. You might have these little things like this, but the first big thing we have is to go on the bridge, and that was the worst. But I mean, it was not that hard to me. Like I ran it, and it's like right at the beginning. So that's the hardest part of it. The rest is soft. And then you had the wind, but the wind was not too insane to me. It was breathing, but it was also cold, which is refreshing my joints, which is less inflammation. I just learned all this stuff this week. Crazy, man. That's why I like to run in drizzle on Wednesday. I was like, wow, what a sense of peace. I hear all this rain, and I'm running in peace. And that's the mindfulness of what I stand for. I may be a runner, but a very slow one. But yeah, so I met these people at this event, and I share these things. They share that to me, and I found out so many inputs that made it happen. More confident and less risk, but I trusted the way. Now we leave this place and we go to my hotel. So Diane is driving me there, and I drop off my stuff, and I make sure that my hotel is booked in. I ask this person, and then they call Nicole to make the transaction. So I get booked up. But the thing is, before that, I was like, they didn't book it up yet. And it was like very sketchy, because I went there like not knowing if I had this room or not. But it was reserved. So that's a good thing. So it all processed perfectly without any issues. Is so flawless that it can't be forced. So all of this time, with all these things happening, trusting the process, not one obstacle happened. That's not normal. That's really what God is standing for. Whew. But I believed that. And when I received it, I accepted it. God loves me today for trusting Him. Because He leads the way in the moment of this, not the moment of that. Because that is stuck in the past and the future, which causes us depression and anxiety. When I go here, I want to be my best self before I die tomorrow. That's a metaphor that I think of that, because it refines the line of an old person. Because they're so close to the line, they have to do something meaningful, because that's where it is. It's not here. Because we already had the future that we needed. That's the only place that we can think that is very important. I met a lot of people that refined that line to me, especially when somebody has like a healness in life, and it happens at 20 years old. Your line is there. What do you happen? That's what the meaning of life is. Meaning of life is sharing the moment today, because we may die tomorrow and we can't predict that, but we can trust the process with this amazing power. So I truly believe that. I can't change that. So accepting myself is accepting the things I receive and digging into those things that is deeper than me, deeper than words. Just like we pray in our weaknesses. That's where the treasure is. So I go there and it's all fixed up. Now this guy that is the counter dude, counter dude, sounds so weird, but he is like, wow, okay, cool, it all's flawless, perfect. Now he's like, I would like to mention that on our behalf, we will give you a top of the line room. What? They gave me a massive size of room. I thought Nicole was planning this up, but not at all. God has planned this up. I didn't expect that, but the room was so massive, and it was, man, I slept like a little baby. I had a king size bed, and it was so comfortable. I want to find out, like, what kind of bed is this, because it is super well made. I was sleeping well, but that recovered me enough to do this marathon. And the chances that they gave me that room, I'm not sure if they set this up, but there were some Fredericton marathon athletes in that building. They all end up into the tower, which is high class. But not only that, the strangest thing, that building is so old. But then again, it reminded me of my father because of the design, the colors. He smoked a lot of cigarettes, but the size, the feel, the moment of seeing the visual gave me this deepness, too deep for words, that my father's there. He passed away in December 2022. He was not really around us that much physically, but I think he is now. And I think he would be very proud of his son, very proud of who we are and what we have become, because he is around as well, just like my brother that passed away when I was 4. It is all connected. And I still believe that there is things out there that we can't understand, but is looking over us no matter what. Even though we forget, God is there, no one else. It's amazing. But all of this ends up to be insane. Incredibly grateful to share this time with everybody today. Because I trusted that message, and I can't deny that. That's how I love myself. Why not trust him in all things, through all things? And to see and witness that creates grateful moments that cannot be predicted, but to listen very carefully. That's what I received. It's too deep for words to understand, but I will trust it. Your heart will be your treasure is. Matthew 6:21. I can't deny what's too deep for words. But then the next morning I wake up, and along the line and along the way during all week, I was doing a lot of recovery things. Cold shower, 2 days, three times a week, 3 times a day, if not more, because it removed the inflammation in my injuries that I didn't trust during last week. And I went to put ice, cold, hot, and all sorts of things. I trusted what I receive and what I understand. And then it was like all the way through the week, I was loading on protein to try to heal myself. And during the week, I was able to sleep. I didn't have anything scheduled that would disrupt this pattern I am trying to create. Somehow, I'm a free man during that week because next week is maxed out. I was meant to be there, but to trust the things that I would be doing for healing myself. So I went to Superstore. I was debating to not buy certain things because it's pretty expensive, but I said, yes, I will do it because I need this right now. Debating, it was a debate, but I still trust the process in that. And somehow it showed me the way and healed me 98% of my issues. Well sleep, high diet, high protein, 220 to over 300 grams of protein during this week, and then high carbs. I was making about 2,500 calories to 3,000 over, just to have enough nutrients to heal that, plus cold shower, plus a bucket of bin with water in it. But I bought a bunch of ice packs, put it in there, and then I went with barefoot in that bucket 2-3 times a day, if not more. The more I do it, the better it is. The peptide collagen is part of a healing properties for your tendons. I did not know that until I searched on ChatGPT how to recover from an injury from the most highest athlete in the world. They gave me pointers. And then this thing, collagen, peptide, was one part of this, 20 grams of it a day. What I did is I mixed it with my BioSteel electrolytes, which helped me to recover faster because there's other factor of healing in that. There's glutamine. That's what I heard from Gabriel Bass saying, you should buy some glutamine, but the glutamine is already in my BioSteel. So I had 3-4 BioSteels a day. This is pretty high. And then scoops of this peptide collagen mix in it while I was during all day. So sip it through that. That I think has magically done something great. And then Diane mentions how to do healing with and break down the under your foot. It's all tight. It can be a problem with your Achilles, and that kind of fixed quite a huge thing. I was doing a bit of morning stretches for my calves and legs. That's always a routine of mine. And then it's like stretching my calf and doing lightweight, raising my calves in different angles, and also almost aerobic style for my overall calf, so I have more strength before I do this marathon. I had to, because it was not ready muscle-wise. So to me, that kind of worked. And then it's like Sunday happens, wake up, I'm all cool. And I did that process till Saturday night. I went to Walmart beside me. Another thing, I went to Walmart on the Saturday, and I went to Sport Check and buy my whole thing of my equipment. It all seems to fit to me in the right way. Okay? And there was missing size. One that was like not the size I wanted, and it was limited because there's no small size, there's no medium size. But the thing is, the person that helped me was just like, find all these size. Same thing with my shirt that I was able to get with my full marathon. Small size. What is this? But it's very cool. And the people I met at the end, this kid, his family did some marathons, and he was very authentic, real. I think he comes from Korean, but very nice kid. And then the people that was there helped me a lot. And I was able to buy myself all of this at a price that was $250 about. And I'm set for running. And I needed the spandex because the rashes between your legs, it's hard. That's what I noticed when I was, doing 20K. And I felt like I can't run in the jeans because obviously Megan told me, like, you ran the freaking 10K in some long, how do you say that? The pants and jeans, whatever. I ran that with that, so totally random. But it told me like I received that thought that it'd be more smart to do that. So I did a layer, one shirt layer, and then one shirt long sleeve, and then I bought these spandex, and then my shoes match with this whole thing. Crazy, man. But it was set at the last minute, smooth without issues, in such a way that I can't make this up. But I trusted the process. Can't pretend what I receive. So then that Sunday, I wake up 6 o'clock, 6:25. Diane is picking me up at 6:45. I kind of went a bit late, but I packed up all my stuff fast. I took a cold shower in that morning. I put some Voltaren on my foot, on this side, on the right side, and a bit of the other one, just to make sure that I don't have inflammation. But it was super cold out there. So in the morning, we go there and then we start doing the race. And it's amazing because not only that, but I was eating a massive load of yogurt and berries, but I didn't put blueberries because I've been mentioned blueberries a lot of fiber. Don't eat too much fiber before you go to this race. Okay, cool. And I open up this yogurt in the car and start eating my thing while they're driving. And then they're saying, wow, there's a lot of food there. And then the thought I received is like, I don't know if you're going to be able to like sustain that because you're going to might go to the washroom. I had to limit my washroom time to make sure I was able to do my thing. And that's what I did. So I cut my yogurt in half and I ate the half of it, just protein. And the drink I made that day before was a bunch of different things in it. Electrolyte, collagen. I put some cinnamon in there. And I put some Fairlife, 42 grams of protein. It's power core. I put half of that bottle in there. I could have put more. And then I put a lot of honey. The honey was really like sugary in my throat. So it was kind of like a bit too much. But that bottle actually lasted me 42k. Wow. I did not know, but I'm learning some stuff. I'm receiving the thoughts that my brain is telling me, let's do that, trust the process. Because I've been mentioned that if you choose to change what works for you at the last minute, I may have indigestive things. Some people have Gatorade out of nowhere and they get GI, more acid in their stomach, and it's harder. So I made sure I kept, because of them, so grateful to receive that knowledge input, because starting a new race in that 42k and something goes wrong, it all seemed to go right. And I had to think about these things. I can't pretend what I received. And I thank these people for that. What a grateful moment to share, because they made that happen. All of these things they said helped me to achieve what I got today. Amazing. So many things. But what's in here? What a grateful moment. Okay. Just check the volume. But the thing is, yeah, so all of this made this happen. I wake up the next morning and that's what it is. I help myself, cold shower, quick. And then I packed up, went back. And then I saw Taha. He was in my building. What? He was in my hotel. I didn't even know. Took a selfie with this guy. So cool, because I drew his character back then. And it's like he's showing up. That's a good sign. So these people I don't know, they will be there, but they're there. It's like so insane. But so grateful. And Claire Johnson was there as well. But she's the one that told me there was a marathon here. And told me that I could do a full marathon. I had to listen to that carefully. But what a risk factor, but it ended up right. I went to the race. I started a bit later, But I did some stretches to make sure. I did some whatever warm up that I would do. But the things I do is I try to be as mindful of what my stretches and my warm up exercise for my legs is, and basic stretch, and then basic squats and stuff like that in different angles. I'm doing like some sort of tai chi stretches and all that sort of thing. So that's slow. To me, I received this thought that doing tai chi is slow impact on the muscles that are very small. The major ones is straight squat, but moving super slow is warming up all these little muscles that needs to be activated before the run. That's what I receive. I will actually do that. I'm not a pro, but it worked. So I do these things randomly. So, but also I ask advice from people as well. So whatever I received, I will acknowledge this up. And I'm really grateful that these inputs are given. They're giving their time in an honest and humble way. And that's such a gift, because a lot of people don't want to do that. But I'm always that way. Anybody wants to ask me any question, I'm right there. That's why I like to share my best self today, because I can share the best things about who I am today. I can't fake that. And if I pretend that, I will create regrets. I don't want to do that. I'm not perfect. I do have regrets, but refining the line before I die refines the line of not pretending. That comes from the heart. So, living the moment now is the most important time, because today, physically, you can make a difference in all things we do. Creates hope, right? You can save people that way, even though we're present in life. So, though the race starts and I'm like, cool, start going. I saw Claire Johnson take a selfie, but I started the race, and I kept going. Then we went to the bridge. I was alone from the bridge to the trail, and then it's like my best friend just appeared, Mr. Clay. Clay appeared, and I was like, hey, that's my running buddy. And that was it. That was amazing. We talked all the way through, and we inspired each other during this time. And a deep conversation has two deep words. We related in so many things that we became friendship today. We have shared a moment that will live forever, because it stuck with the heart and not the mind or complaining. Complaining is usually from the past or the future of things that does not happen the way they want. But the thing is, living in the now, we can't complain. Because if we complain, if I complain, I feel like I'm not giving my best self today of the things I can do, the best things I can do. So less complaining, more doing creates less regrets, in my opinion. Because tomorrow I may die. We have the same mindset. It's insane. But, he's a young kid, but he's already there. Very wise person. But I don't think he knows how deep his true rawness is through him. But he's working on it. And I definitely know. He did 16 weeks of training to get that 42k for the first time, just like me. But I did a lot more. But it's like the fact that he is first, and he's tackling this up like a pro. No issues whatsoever. I was going through all these trails with him, and I've seen some people having issues with their legs or things. It is not an easy thing to do, but somehow it worked out, and we uplifted ourselves during this trail. That's insane that this thing happened that way. And it's 42k without issues. I went to washroom twice. He went to washroom, I think, twice. Or once, I'm not sure. But we limited our time in that sense. We were able to catch up with each other. Every single way of the way. This could have not worked This guy could have snapped his knees. I don't know. But he was able to do it. We started very slow pace without destroying ourselves. So slower the first for a super long like that, I think is a smart way to do it. It was flat. What a blessing time. It was not, it was perfect temperature. At the end of the day, it felt amazing. At the freaking verse, like the first 21k had a lot of wind and was quite cold, just enough to keep ourselves more hydrated because we didn't sweat that much. During that time, it just worked out. This whole thing could have not worked out whatsoever. That's what makes me mind blown about that. But anyways, along the way, we see this Michelle person with this authentic, not pretending mindset. Things from the heart. It's very, very grateful person. She did a lot of volunteering, and it's like the journey of her life is finding her heart, the most important part of life. So we see her on the trail. What is the chances? And she's 62, 64, and she's running. Like, it's not super fast, but she is doing this for her grandchild or something like that to motivate them. Is a reason that is meaningful to motivate people to move, be active, because that is longevity. And we talked about, getting older is harder on our lungs if we don't train them, because less oxygen to the brain. I've learned that from VO2 Max with Gilles Ensemble. He shared that to me. Gilles Ensemble shared me all this stuff, and it changed my life, because now I'm doing exercise to have more longevity, because I know something can happen down the road that I don't have enough oxygen going through my lungs. I have asthma back then when I was a kid. This can come back. But I don't think with this routine of exercise and stuff, that can't come back, right? So it's incredible. So the things that I've learned over the couple of months has led me to understand how I run today. Less breathing is less energy used. I breathe in that zone for below 20 breaths per minute, because that's less exhaustion and more oxygen absorption. So that's what I understand. I'm not a pro, but I kind of somewhat understand what it means. But so all the way through that, to tell me that even a woman that's 62 is still doing it that way, and she is so inspired to inspire others in that way. That's a grateful moment to share. And me and Clay and Michelle, we were running for a while in that time. Nice trail, trees all over the place, like straight line. Such a breathe. And there's ocean, there's water, there's rivers, there's bridges, and we have this nice trail, soft as blessing of life. The wind was not even there. It was just breathing. The sun comes out, the shadows of the trees. It all just seems to be real and raw. It brought me back to my peace while I was running. And the same thing as the surrounding. Me and Clay and Michelle were just kind of like being true to ourselves. And along the way, we met these things. So that's powerful, man. Message of life is to be grateful today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. And now, why not be our best self today, because tomorrow I may die. Refining this line refines who I am as a person, because I can't go there if I want to do that. Because I can't live in the past or the future. I have to live now. Why not be my best self today? That's what I stand for. I mean, I'm not perfect, but it's like I said, it's all about refining this line to truly where that meaning is before I leave this life. Can't pretend what I received. So amazing. It's funny thing is, like, I went to LMI leadership a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, or last 2 Thursdays. I told them that I did a 35k in Centennial Park, and then Jess LeBlanc is telling me, well, so next week you'll do a full marathon. And I was like, no, that's not. And I was like, that's what I received. I don't know. So this was a message to me to do this marathon today. The chances this happen is 0, man. Percentage is, it all went smooth. I don't understand, but it's such a grateful time to experience that. Grateful to share this up today. So we finished the line, and all the way through it, I had Clay running with me until the end, and he crossed the path and finished. And we're so grateful to have this vibe that we finished it, and we were so hyped to finish this whole thing. It's a achievement acquired in the 42K. It's such a vibe. You go to the finish line and everybody's cheering you up, and that energy is so powerful that it's like it makes you want to run even further. So I went with my 2 tickets of my shirt. I'm just gonna share what I had on my shirt. So I was wearing the Alexandre-Parks Foundation, and those are the marathon, the 21st kilometers and the 42 kilometers. So there's chips in the back. I didn't even know, but there's chips in the back that reads the timing, because there's along the way there's sensors that would read where you cross. But the thing is, I had 2 of them, so I don't know if I have two things or whatever, but people were like, how did you get 2? Miracles. The things I trusted to do, just to get my small size shirt. Without this woman that gave me this thing, I would not have this small shirt size, because I had this medium size, but then when I did, well, it's so messed up, but I jinxed the system in this marathon thing. They scan these things. It's kind of weird. Like she warned me, Karen warned me when I was at the event Saturday, that you may just kind of want to choose one because you might mess up the system. And I was like, no. The heart says, let's mess up the system. Because that's natural and it's outside the box, and God wants me to mess up this thing, because that's the intuition that I get when I speak with people. The mind misleads the truth, and the truth comes from the heart and expressing the moment now. Me mixing that thing is creating a moment that is different, which is unpredictable, and plus it creates a grateful moment for life. I finish these things with 2 signs on my shirt. The ridiculous thing, but people were laughing because of that. That's the meaning of life. And they liked it. They liked it. Because I was funny. I was doing high fives all along. These people are actually volunteers, are working so hard for that. So appreciated for the people that works for these things, because there is so much things to kind of like manage in there. And I don't know, like 1,000 people or more in these things. So hands down for the people that are managing this up, but they're all super chill. It's amazing. So all the way through, we had like Gatorades and we had water to supply ourselves. Yeah. But anyways, I was crossing this thing with 2 signs. But I'm not sure what did for the system, but I already know that my time for the marathon was 4 hours and 50 or something like that. I didn't check 100% what that number is, but Clay was in front of me, and I know where Clay's name is, so I can check him up online. But we shared our numbers and we shared our things, because we really connect at the deepest place, and our roots are very powerful. I find that's very authentic to me. Can't deny what I receive, and I was so grateful to receive Clay along the line. It's amazing. So anyways, I go cross this super nice finish line and I walk down there and I woohoo, and it's like everybody's like, I'm sprinting quite a bit. I think I was like 11 kilometers just to sprint, because they were cheering me up. I could have damaged some stuff, but I was feeling pretty confident, and I cross it. While I cross it, I'm like, all along the way I was talking to Clay. It's like, I got to do the 43. Because 43 is considered a ultra marathon. Well, why not try the extra kilometers just to kind of jinx the system? So people are laughing, man. It's so insane. So now I'm like, the guy is trying to offer me this the stuff, the medal of Fredericton Marathon. I'm like, no, not yet. No, not yet. Let me go catch up my other kilometers. And then somebody in the crowd looks at me. It's like, hey, did you forget something over there? I'm like, yeah, maybe I forgot. And I scream, I think I forgot my 1 kilometer back there. So I have to go back. Totally fried up the situation. So it's like, I go there and I keep going and I go further. And then like, I go to the backwards and I see... I see this guard there, and I'm like, I can cross over, but then the car stops, and I'm looking at my watch, and like, okay, that's a good distance to actually achieve the 43. So I turn around, walk, and then I right back to the finish line. And then it's like, when I went back, people are still laughing, and it's that moment that changed my life, because it's sharing the unpredictable things and live life today. Because tomorrow I may die, I would be grateful for I've done this random thing. Crossing twice because I have 2 tickets on my thing, plus I did a 43 kilometers. And that was like 5 hours in 6 minutes or so. Anyways, so funny. And then I pick up my stuff. Diane is coming back and she was like, we gotta go right away. And that's like totally understandable. And it's like laughing. These people on the crowd there was like, what the heck is this guy doing? And I was thinking of bringing my fro. And I did not. It was pretty windy, so I don't know. But some people had like ears, bunny ears, and all that random things. So that is telling me, next time, let's go fro. Let's go forward. So I'm like, if I know I can do a 42 in a sort of pace like this, and I risk it in a sense where it's all flat, and I listened to that carefully because I knew the risk was low to hurt myself, and I was healing really well, and I pulled it off that way. So 42 kilometers plus 1 kilometer that I forgot down and backwards. So I came back and crossed the line again, and then it's like gave me all the stuff, my bag and all that stuff. So I felt very good. So I said, I cheered Clay, my friend that was my buddy. We ran all the way through, and that was 5 hours of run together, talking about good things, about motivational things, and the things that the journey that we have today is important because tomorrow may be dying. So this kid is such a powerful man. He has probably not an idea of what that is, but I have a lot of respect for that kid. But yeah, stand in a motivational way. Less complain, more doing. Yeah, don't be afraid to test your limits, but listen carefully. Listening carefully of your body can make a difference because nobody can tell you that and how your body is. So me doing the fasting all back then and all these process of doing things have made me a better person to how to listen to who I am as a person, also how my body reacts to the things I give it, because that's what I received. And I truly believe that if I know more who I am, I can know more how to be deeper with myself and truly be able to share a moment of gratitude today before I leave this life. It's a very powerful thing. It refines who I am today. Less complaining and doing, and trust the process. Yeah. And after this, I finished this line. I went back to the tents to pick up my bag. They gave us a bag. And what happened is, like, one of the guy that managed this whole thing told me, like, Yeah, I know you're not supposed to be crossing this twice. Like this could have really messed up the situation. And I'm like, oh, I did not know. I was oblivious. But it's like he mentioned that he was saying to me not to cross it again. And I'm like, he was somewhat angered in a sense. I kind of frustrated a bit this situation. But yet I believe this moment has created a message of let it go of all the things that frustrates people, because today is so rare. I may die tomorrow. We are one heartbeat away to leave this life. Why not live this beautiful moment even though I messed up the system? That's the message of living now. Because I can't pretend what I received. I have to do the things I received to love myself and the life I have today. That's what I stand for. I want to refine that line because that's who I am. God leads the way. And that's a gratitude that I want to stand for today. And share that today in the moment I have with all of you. Because that's the message that lives on. Because that's Him leading me to where I need to be, which is too deep for words. Matthew 6:21. Your heart will be where your treasure is. Remember that. Because that's where I found myself. Going through all these thoughts created a bridge to who I am by journaling. Living the unpretending life is today, because I may be dying tomorrow. That's a grateful moment to realize. Yeah. Influence that importance can change your life today. God bless. Do the things without fear that motivates you, and trust the process, because you don't know who is leading all this, but it's certainly something through all things watching over us today, because I'm sharing that to you today. What a moment, what a gratitude moment to share. I can't pretend that. So that's my weekend, and that was my week. So many things to lead to do a 43 kilometers by finishing it twice. I guess I did a 20 kilometers, and then I pulled off 2 in 1. That's pretty cool. Anybody can do that. Anybody can train for this sort of thing. And it's possible. And there's such a standard of people like trying to run these such a quick way that makes us feel that we can't pull off this. Obviously you need some training, but there were so much people older than me that was still doing that. 42k. Was it fast? No, it was not. But it's still a challenge to be able to pull it off despite the standards that people may think this is. It's basically almost walking. 42k is basically almost walking. We were running at 8 kilometers, and it was just the breath of fresh air. Me and Clay were like, wow, this is quite cool. And it's such a breath. It is a meditative state because you're not going so fast, but you're just using zone 2, which is burning fat for energy instead of the carbs. So much easier than full speeding this thing just to get Boston qualification. So this thing is it can be done with anybody with a decent training physically. 21k, definitely. 42 is pretty intense because you double the time. But this kid that did it in 16 weeks of preparation took a workout online, clay, and he followed this up. He has buddies in the gym that suggested that, and he ran the 42K with the same pace that I was going, and we just joined the same speed. Anybody can do it. There was old men and old women, older than me, all sorts of age. There was some that was not even in shape for doing that. They still run it. It's amazing how we have put a standard to think that marathon needs to be speed, but it does not. Giving yourself a hope that you can do a 42. That's the coolest thing ever. I never experienced this, but it's not pushing the speed, it's pushing the slow speed, and to breathe while you run. It's a beautiful thing. I'm actually like right in awe of how that is mentally to me. It all matches with the mindfulness type of thing, and it doesn't have to be so struggling, because when you are in the zone 2, you don't fight your thoughts as much as if you want to go fast. I've seen some people were so fast, it's incredible, and matching, trying to get Boston qualification and stuff. But it's amazing how people can run this fast at 42K. They're going to like 15 kilometers over. I was going to 8, 10. That was max. I didn't want to go faster than that because it's a long run. Zone 2. My heart rate was average of 115 to 130 max. There was some spot I actually brought it up a bit more to catch up with Clay. But I mean, other than that, it was perfect. What an experience. I am sore in my legs, obviously, because 42K is pretty intense. But there's possibilities to make that for an average person. Going to the gym, working out, getting a training, obviously. Minimum, like, quite a bit of running to prepare for this stuff. But it's possible. Anybody can do it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a sportive thing. It can be like a meditative thing. Put your mind to a place where you're just letting go and just breathe. Listen to the trees, the water, the rain, the wind. The feeling of life in the moment is what we need to feel. That's what I feel like I need to feel to bring back the peace that it belongs to me. It belongs to who we are, who I am. Bringing that makes me wiser to appreciate the moment today without rushing it. Because rushing it can injure, but not rushing it can make you heal. That's a powerful thing I should write down. Because the faster we go, the more danger we can hurt ourselves. Just like going a drive fast and I see people speeding, the risk of getting an accident is higher risk than somebody that is very slow. That's why I like doing slow things. Drawing is slow. It's meditative, relaxation, being aware of life, listening truly to what my state of life is, and witness the things that is deeper than words. And the more time I spend alone in meditative state, the more I define and receive these messages of who I am in the calmness of life. We're so rushed out, but finding calm can save your life and heal it. Because when we sleep, our breathing is so slow, we start healing. When we're not, we cannot heal. So those things is also a factor of, to me, the less breathing we do, the less anxiety we get, and the less frustrations we get emotionally. But the thing is, I noticed this for myself. So between that time, I know I witness, because of the breathing, and I did the VO2 max with Gilles, we talked about that. When I get anxiety, I breathe a lot. That's kind of making sense. We're panicking. We're breathing a lot. We're not relaxed. We're rushing to find a solution. But then I calm my breathing to below, I don't know, if you can bring it to like 20 below to 10 below per minute, your body starts to calm. That message to me is the same way of everything else out there. More risk of panicking or hurting emotionally if we're rushing, because there's more panic there. Less panic, there's more calm, there's peace. And I think that's where God belongs, because the heart is so deep for words, because we're rushing our thoughts so fast. The peaceful part of ourselves is now, because we can't link those past and the future thoughts to it. Finding that moment now can change your life. To breathe and to appreciate a grateful moment, just like when I basically listened to my freedom of being in the moment to cross this thing twice. Even though the person says me I could not do it. He warned me before, but I didn't notice what he said. But when I went back to the tent, he says like, yeah, don't do that, man. It's like, you should have not done it. Like, he was frustrated, and I like, it's normal because I broke the rules. I like to break rules because I'm a free man, and whatever happens, that's my life of living in the moment today. I would be grateful on my deathbed to have crossed this twice and make people laugh. That's the thing that keeps us together and sharing the moments today. That message is changing lives. That message to me changes lives, because you don't need to rush and you can give those moments now before we die. So yeah, so what an adventure of this Fredericton marathon. And whoever has given me the ability to do this, you do not understand how deep that has impacted my life. To give me an ability to go there, to tell me certain things, the inputs and the things that led to this moment, to share this video to you. Because that's what you stand for today, for whoever has been surrounded by this process. That's the video that is creating through God. Things I cannot predict. But you've been part of this hope and that message today. And that's what you stand for. Because you trusted the process and you accepted me along the ride. Wow. Thank you for doing that. Because I can be myself even further. You have shared that moment to trust the process. Wow. That's where I stand. Today is a moment of gift that I cannot deny, because life is a gift, and treat it like a gift. You have given me a gift that will live on for me. But not only that, but also other people around. That's what, to me, means life. So, yeah, Fredericton Marathon, it's incredible. I was able to get a nice medal. And the thing is, Diane mentioned, I want to do a tribute for that, because I received this thought, and I wear the Alexandre-Parks Foundation. I would like, and she mentioned this, Diane, you're cool. I don't know how you're able to tell me all these things that I need to hear, but your heart is in the right place. It's a good thing. She told me that I could engrave my name and my time in there, because there's a small square right there. And I'm like, I could put my time in there. That's strange. I don't know why. But let's create. Let's create. Oh. On honor of Alexandre-Parks and André Boulard. What do you think of that? Because that's creating a grateful moment today. because I would have not been able to do it without you guys. Because today I'm alive. Because tomorrow I may die. Why not grade this message of Alexandre-Parks on that? It's powerful. It's my journey. But I needed them to guide me through all this. That's a grateful moment. Amazing. So let's put that name in there. Somehow find a way. She told me the place to go, jewelry. I never thought they would engrave that in jewelry. You can pay and get this carved in. Yeah. Powerful stuff. So today was my marathon of 43k. Because I wanted to do a 43k because in an ultra marathon like a pove. But yeah, so it created a grateful moment that way, all along of that. So this is what it is. This is who I am. I can't change that. Thank you for the support. All of this happened in that way, and this is Fredericton Marathon. Without knowing what's going to be during this week, it happened. So thank you for the encouragement to achieve this in the right place with the right mind and heart. And all the people that was surrounded by that. You have given me a belief that is deeper than me. But now I understand more. Tu as bien mérité ce moment. Nous sommes très contents de pouvoir être à tes côtés. Non, vous avez fait quelque chose d'incroyable. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, no, it's amazing. If anybody has any question about the process of things I've done, let me know. You know, as I had so many things over the months, but diet-wise, never really changed too much, but just added more calories and more refined, less processed food. And that kid was the same way. It never broke down. So processed food can really lag your system in that sense. But I'm so grateful. Look, today, I'll go eat some chicken wings. I bought myself a pack of chicken wings, and it's still gonna not go over my calorie intake. I'm already at 4,600 calories. And to the Garmin watch, this thing is amazing because it tracked all my heart rate along, and this kid had one too. So he was ready for this, but surprisingly, he had pains in his knee, but he said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And he took it slow, just like me. I did the same thing. Yeah. But what amazing time. I cannot be more blessed than this. I don't understand. But I'm grateful to be sharing this up today. And Alain interviewed me back then in CBC News, and he kind of contacted me back yesterday to ask me if he shared the story of the things I'm doing now for all the process I've changed from 225 to 160 today. And my body fat percentage is down to 11.9. Last time I checked was about 2 weeks. So that whole process has made me able to do this and meet everybody. And I had trusted this, but I didn't know I was doing some marathons. It's just these things just happen. Graham told me marathons. His brother did some marathons intensively. He did a full marathon in like 2 hours and 30 minutes or some sort of thing. He was insane. But he had cancer and still did a marathon at 62 years old. He passed away, but it's amazing that even that is still possible to make a marathon. Yeah. But anyways, it's amazing. So glad to share this today. I'm going to probably save that video and put it on YouTube because it's a lot of things about myself in that. And trusting the process is such a powerful thing. Don't frustrate about life. That's the thing. Just let things happen. Listen carefully. Try to listen to the things that you can't control, because that's where the present moment, the gift of moment is. How did I say that? That was deep for words. Yeah. So the things we can't predict creates grateful moments. So trying not to control the things you can't control. Yeah. All sorts of things too. David Coggins is part of the big change back in October. I went on these podcasts to listen to a lot of things. And what's this? The Diary of CEO on YouTube. A lot of great mentors. You had Gabriel Basque that helped me to somewhat push myself through these people that was there, because Jesse mentioned marathon, and this is marathon everywhere. But it's amazing. So all of these people influenced to that level has made me do all this till now. It's powerful. Trusting the process even though we do not know. Keep praying for the good things. That's deep for words. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to finish this up, but I appreciate this moment. And without this moment, I would not be this person today. Refining the line of being my best self today, because I may be gone tomorrow, becomes this, and I cannot pretend. Let's refine this line. So that's a gift that we can witness today. Yeah. Amazing. And we will have other runs going on. This one was unpredictable. Such an amazing gift to receive. Can't deny that. And it's like, then this new stuff, Solstice, Tartan, and then there's another one, Leg Literacy. I can train for that one because it's pretty intense, heel-wise, but I can still train for that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes, but it's nothing guaranteed. That's why I live it in right now, because that's what I can control and be myself today. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, but today, sharing this, whatever experience, is truly a given thing to share today. That's why I do a video. So yeah. And Alain is the CBC guy. Shared this testimony of what I'm doing now to a person that may be able to interview me. So who knows? But I made this video, and that's what I received, because Alain says you should interview you, and I'm like, what does that mean to me? The heart says, document yourself. See, that's how I see things now. Because life talks through all things. And I cannot be selfish, because selfish creates emotional attachment. That's coming from learning from Yves Doucet. Any attachment is an emotional attachment, not really selfless attachment. Selfless attachment to me now is receiving the word of God through all things, because that is selfless. And trying to mold my heart to the moment of now, and that's what I receive from Alain. I see André should. André, fais quelque chose. Fais un document today. That's what I receive. And that's true to me. I've never done a video like this so raw, but it's true. Whatever I receive, I must document, like Alain said. That's the message I received. Thank you, Alain, for sharing me that message, despite the situations happening, because today is a moment of gratefulness, because I may die tomorrow. That, receiving this message from you, have changed my life, because I trusted the things that is through all things. That's him. I wish you good luck, and God bless, and let's make this even better, a best self today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. God bless. You guys have a good day. Live in the moment and create good memories that heals the soul and that is nourishing what is important today. Be alive. Because that's where your heart will be, where your treasure is. Matthew 6:21. Keep praying. In your weaknesses, you will reach this. That's how I've done it. That's how I feel I've done it. I can't deny what I received. Sharing you that today. Because today is a grateful gift to share. God bless.